Welcome back to another Unity 5 tutorial. In the last session we started creating our area script, and we've had a quick look at how we could set up our triangles, the triangles of our irregular plane that we want to start with, how it works with the vertices, just some theory on creating a mesh in Unity. So now we've talked about the theory, and now we just want to get it into code. So we're gonna start with our vertices. And actually for that, we're just gonna create a new function. Actually, let's just structure our code a bit now, and I'm gonna do this with a region. Again, the objective here is to make this code as readable as possible, since I've struggled with reading code like that before. This is just something I try to achieve. You don't have to do this. And we're gonna create a function called get vertices. And now in our create irregular polygon function, what we want to do is have a vector3 array. Can call this words, and it will get the vertices from our function. And then we can say mesh. It has actually a variable called vertices, and look at that, it's a vector3 array. So we can set our words on here. You can also do this in one line of code. Just wanna make it readable again. So here we want to create different sections. As I said, we're going to start with the bottom plane and then do the top plane and then do the side planes. But that means we need to add to our array. Since this doesn't work well with arrays, we're going to use lists. And lists are in the namespace system collections generic. So here the first thing we do is create a list of vector3s, vertices, so that's quite nice. Unity already offers here the right list for you. That's a neat feature in the auto-completion. And we're gonna return at the end our list as an array, simply using the toArray function. And now here in the middle we need to get the vertices for the bottom, for the top, and for the sides. We'll talk about each of them in depth later. We're gonna start with this one now. And we're gonna do it in a similar way, keep it all modular. So we're gonna have a new function, list vector3 is the return type, and I call this get bottom vertices. And here again we need to create a list vector3. I'm calling this temp. It's a new list. And at the end we're gonna return this list. So here, again, you could put this in one line of code, but I just want to keep it readable like that. Get bottom vertices, and lists have this function add range, and we can just add an entire list to our list. So it will not be a sublist, but it actually just puts in all entries in this list from the bottom list into our vertices list. So, and now we just need to think of how we get our vertices, our bottom vertices. And for that, we're gonna use our points array. So the way our tool will work is that the points we have added to our array, either through the waypoints tool or just manually, but using empty game object, these points will define our bottom plane vertices. So we will create the bottom here, then we will have some sort of offset, and a top plane will be here higher up. So that means we need to iterate through our points. And to temp, we just add each position, because we now don't need game objects, we just need a vector 3, which would be the position of each of those points. And this is really all there is to it. So this is the most simple one, obviously. And now if we press start, it already passes our vertices into our mesh. We will not see anything yet because we still need the tries, but we first need the vertices, because as I explained earlier, this tries array is really just using the indices in this vertex array. So now we have 3 points. Let's just move back to our triangle. Oh well, still can see it. And so, sorry, I'm just meddling around here, but it works. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, we have a triangle right now. We have 3 vertices, and now we need to set our first triangle with setting an array where each of those vertices is in it. But we don't want to do it in that way. We want to do it already in a procedural way. So, but just so you see, like, we first need to set the vertices in order to be able to set our tries array. So, what is still left to do is end region, because we started this region up there, and we're going to start a new region called tries, and I'm just gonna end it right away so I don't forget. That would cause an error. And as we've said, it's an integer array that we need. So the function will be called get tries, and we're gonna do it in a similar manner. First we're gonna create a list of integers, this is called tries. It's a new list of integers. And at the end, we're gonna return this list as an array. And in the middle again, we have, so I'm just gonna be lazy here, copy and paste all of that. And we're gonna call this get bottom tries. This function doesn't exist yet, so let's write it. It's a list of integers get bottom tries. I'm gonna be lazy again. This is an int, and this is an int. So, let's just implement that here as well now. We have an int array tries. We get the values from get tries. Does that work? Just quickly check. Yeah, seems to work. Okay, and in the same manner as we added our vertices, we can set the triangles. So, and again, the important part will happen here. So now we need to know how many triangles we're going to have. So we're just gonna have a quick look again in here. Now, I just wanna get the amount of triangles from the amount of vertices we got. So here we got 3 vertices, 1 triangle. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices, and we would have 2 triangles, like so, 1, 2. And in the last one, we've had 6 vertices, and we had 4 triangles. So that means we always have the amount of vertices minus 2. This will be the amount of triangles. So we move back. And I'm just gonna create an helper int amount of tries equals points. That is the amount of vertices we have. We got minus 2. And now we can replace this one. So if we now had 3 vertices, as we do, that would mean we have exactly 1 triangle. So I'm gonna create here this triangle is a new int. And if we look back to this pattern, I said we're gonna draw our triangles from 0. This is just an arbitrary choice by myself, so you can do it differently. You can, another way I'm thinking of doing it later maybe is to calculate the average of all those vertices to have a vertex in the middle of our plane, and then from there draw the triangles. That might be actually more helpful, because now as soon as we have this particular point, vertex 0, in a weird position where it would not be able to reach all the other vertices without crossing another one of those edges, then we just basically mess up our shape. But we will see that at the end once we finished our script. So let's just look at how we do it for now. So we will have 0, 0, 2, 0, 1, 2. So it is always 0 is our first. That's good to know. So we put in 0. And then we start iterating through the next. So basically in our first iteration cycle, I would be 0. So we need 1 and 2. So we say I plus 1 would be the first point and I plus 2 the second one. Let's see if that works in the second cycle. And the second cycle would be, I would have the value of 1. So we would start with 0. I plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1. And I plus 2 is 3. So that works. We could actually cover all the triangles in that manner. So let's put it in code. I plus 1 and I plus 2. And actually, I'm just gonna rename that. To bottom. And here we're just gonna say bottom add range. So we cannot just use add because then would just add this array inside the list, but we want to add the values, so add range again. This triangle. So, and this should already give us some results, I hope. Now if you look at our create a regular polygon function, we've added the vertices and we added the triangles. We have a mesh filter material. So let's see if we get something to work. As I said, we only call this function once we press start. And this is the epic moment where nothing happens. Okay. I'm just not sure. I'm just gonna start fresh, not that I missed anything. But that's easily done. So I just need to see, not that I'm drawing from the bottom. Okay. Now the question is if I missed. Oh yeah, of course, this is what we missed. Or I missed, sorry. We need to add to our array, add range, bottom. So now we just created all our tries, put them in a list, but did not add this list, the values of this list to our tries. I'm gonna save it, start again, and again. Whoa, there we go. So now that is something. Somehow there is an offset. If I just reset this one to 0, does that help? Sorry, I probably need to restart the script. So we have an offset for some reason. But if if our game object holding the script is at location 0, now it actually works. And now this is what we actually want, because as you can see, if I look from top down, I cannot see our face. But if I look from the bottom, I can see it. So if we're thinking of a 3D object, we actually, from the bottom, we want to see the bottom and not from top. That makes sense. And here you see the triangle we created. But actually the most interesting point about what we've got so far is if I just add another vertex, and I'm gonna put it in a good position. So we have a convex shape, and oh, of course, I always forget about that. Sorry, I just cannot work from the bottom. So, I mean, you can play with it, you'll see the effect, but I just want to demonstrate it. So now I just added one more vertex, or one more waypoint, if you want to see it, and it works. We got our entire shape filled properly. But now I just quickly want to show or demonstrate the limitations as well. So if I add another waypoint, and I place it in the middle, like so, so what you see is, apart from the weird colors, we have the vertex in the middle, but the edge is actually drawn here. And this is just the way we draw the triangles, because we always jump to one, we always start from 0, or which would be now our first triangle. So if I draw now our triangle from 1 to 5, and then it would go to the next one, which is 6, so it would be 1, 5, 6, and there we got our filling for the gap which we did not want. But this is just the way, this is really just the way how this is set up. So if you wanna somehow include, or if you want to make it possible that you can actually have shapes like that, concave, wait, I'm always confusing them. Yeah, I guess concave. I don't even know how to pronounce it in English. But if you want to be able to have something like that, you just need to adjust your script. As I said, I've thought already of a solution. I'm not sure if it works. I'm gonna try it later on. But apart from that, I think this is already a big step. We can easily create now a plane with an irregular shape. So just again, some other limitations. We did not add any UV coordinates. We did not add any normals. And this causes problems if you want to use this to display textures. If you want this face to respond to light or anything else really. So this is not working, but that's okay for us since we just want to create an area, a trigger really. Now you might be wondering, if we don't need that anyways, why do we even bother filling this? Can we not just create a wireframe? But the thing is, we still want to create an actually mesh that can be a trigger, and for a mesh collider to work on this, like I can also show that quickly, we can add a mesh collider, and yeah, well, we don't even see it. Add mesh collider. No, it doesn't work. But anyways, it would not, the mesh collider would not have the right shape right now, since this is Unity doesn't see this as a complete 3D object or a polygon. So in order for Unity to understand the shape of it and be able to have the right bounds, we need to have a bottom, we need to have a top, and we need to have the sides. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.